Hi guys, it's Mark from Gunpla Network. How you going? This video proudly sponsored by the guys over at RoboCity. They did a awesome thing and sent me over this kit to review for you. Now, we've had a couple of videos up. Sorry for the break. I had a holiday, went to Singapore, and it was a great time with the family. So now I'm back into it and hitting hard with the reviews for you. So today we're going to be reviewing the HG RX-78AL Atlas Gundam from Gundam Thunderbolt. Now this is the Thunderbolt version, OVA version. Previously there was another version of the kit, I believe. No, actually, sorry, this is the first release. So this is the OVA Gundam Thunderbolt version. Then there is also a P-Bandai version you can get, which is the Bandit Flower version. And that had a different shield and a different rifle. I think they were about the major differences. Maybe some markings, something like that. But those would be the two. If you preferred the shorter, smaller railgun and the slightly different shield, then grab the P-Bandai if you can find it. Otherwise, this is the one we'll be looking at. And as I said, this is from the OVA. I love this kit. And now you would have seen the quick look. We had it in this pose too. I'm very tempted to say, as much as I love the railgun, not so much the shield, I'm very tempted to pose it in the kneeling pose. I just love how it looks, you know, when it lands on the deck of the Spartan assault ship after it destroys the Xeon craft that was incoming, trailing them from space. that was a pretty cool moment in the OVA. So yeah, let's have a quick chat about background on this mobile suit. So this one is operated by the Earth Federation forces. Specifically the Maw Brotherhood. They're now on Earth in the second series, second movie, depending on which ones you've watched. And this is the newest Gundam they had after the full armor was destroyed, the Atlas Gundam. Once again piloted by E.O. Fleming, and they make a mention that his family donated the money for it, because obviously Gundams aren't cheap. So this is a prototype ground mobile suit developed by the Earth Federation forces, but it's very versatile. So it's actually a ground type suit. With the sub arms, it can fly in the air. Then with the shield and the sub arms, it can be a submarine / amphibious mobile suit. It's got a unique spherical joint system, which you'll be able to see once I turn on the rotating base there. You'll see all the little ball joints everywhere. They're called a globe joint. Developed based on the Principality of Xeon's amphibious mobile suits and meant for underwater use. Feet are also equipped with water jet thrusters, which deliver greater underwater mobility. The special feature of this suit is the sublegs. They allow the Atlas Gundam to change into flight mode for high altitude flight or into submarine mode for underwater combat. The suit's armed with a heat-resistant shield and a prototype railgun, which, as E.O. said in the episode, he goes, "Why can I only get a couple of shots out of this thing before it breaks?" So very prototype, but it does kick ass when it works because it can destroy a mobile suit in one shot. So the cockpit is a full panoramic, and it is also a ball. Basically, that was the design of this. It's meant to be, the core of the mobile suit is meant to be based on a ball, I believe. That's what I read on a website somewhere, and you can see once the head was removed and all the outer armor when they were doing maintenance on it in the OVA, it did look like just a ball at the center of it. Armaments that it comes with is the kick-ass prototype railgun that I've left the hand in there for, which destroys things non-stop. You get 2 assault rifles, which are meant to be in the sublegs. If it was actually like an MG, I guess you would get that. 2 beam sabers, which are stored in the shoulders, and a blade shield, which is a large heat-resistant shield. And it actually, I think it was in Bandit Flower, not in the OVA, but in the movie version, this actually snaps open a little, and from within these ruts here, spike needles shot out with a chemical on them to attach the hygogs. And that was it. So very, very impressive mobile suit. E.O. Fleming as a Gundam pilot seems to get the best stuff. All right, now on to overall look. I love this, guys. This is probably now like my top three, one of the top three MS designs for me. And it's weird because it's yellow. Like, you wouldn't think yellow looks good on many mobile suits, but on this it actually looks good. I was going to repaint and ditch the yellow, just have maybe the white, the greys, and the maybe a red or a blue or something, but I think I'll leave the yellow. I'll repaint according to the color guide, which thankfully on the guide you can see back here is included in English now, so it tells you how to mix it all up. I've only used a few stickers. I used the ones around the side of the knee, the back piece. I haven't put them on all of the joints. You can see I've just used a few of the lining ones around the side of the chest vents. Because my plan is, after I get through reviews and building the next few months, I want to come back and redo this kit, maybe one or two mods, some holes or something like that, ventilation stuff, probably no panel lining. I think it's pretty cool, and paint the whole thing up and then display it on my shelf. So I didn't use all of the stickers. I used the eye, which you can see when we get to it in there, look pretty cool, so I'll be painting that as well. It's just more to remove. The one thing I didn't actually touch any of is you actually get a really cool set of marking stickers, I guess, which you don't often get with a lot of kits. I think the Origin kits may have had some of these, but I haven't done one of those yet. So, and this is the marking guide. As you can see, there is a buttload of stickers, guys. This is just insane. You may want to prepare for a 2-hour sticker session if you are going to use these. Now, I actually ordered the Thunderbolt water slide decals. Now, that's the other reason I didn't put too many stickers on, because once I have painted what I'm going to paint, I'll be using water slides for mine. That's a standard Bandai release. You can purchase those for, they're usually anywhere from $8 to $10, I believe. In hobby stores or online, it's a few dollars less, but you pay for shipping. It ends up about the same. So, check those out if you don't want to use stickers. But if you are going to use stickers because you're not painting, I don't think there'd be anything too wrong with these. I've used them before. Probably a flat coat to help them stay on, all of the stickers, to stop them from lifting over time. But there is just so many on here. Like down to rifle symbols for the sides of the sub arms to show you that they should be in there. You get the Fleming family crest. You get the EFSF logo. You get warning signs up the wazoo. It's just insane. So that's very cool of Bandai to include that with these. They could have just given you these tons of foil stickers, but you actually get warning symbols too, which is really good. So for overall look, I've given it a 10 out of 10 because I just think this thing looks insanely good. Articulation and posing, 7 out of 10. Now, the core mobile suit itself is actually like very close to a 10 out of 10. It has, despite having no polycaps, that's right guys, this kit has no polycaps. It was weird building that and not using polycaps, but in saying that, the core kit itself, Articulation, is like a 9 out of 10 for sure. Maybe 10 out of 10. It is very articulated, very easy to do. What gave it the detraction, I guess you would say, was the sub arms. They're just a little like, if you want to twist them at one area, that looks like it should move, but it's actually solid plastic. So what I would say is they could have been a little more, they've only got about, 1, 2, 3 points of articulation on the sub arms. I know it sounds greedy wanting more, but just that was how I felt when I was trying to pose this thing. I was going insane, and these actually split apart. Sorry, back to the overall look. These sub arms should be white on the in-between parts, but they're not. They're just a dark grey, and obviously that would have been a lot harder for Bandai to mould had they done that. So we'll forgive them on that. But yeah, it's just one point that actually does detract from it. Nothing major, but yeah. Okay, so back to the articulation. So the sub arms can go around there. They can move that way. They can then move here at this point, up and down, and then back here they can move around. Now that's not part of the sub arm. The sub leg. What do you call these parts? So let me refer off over here. The submarine in flight mode. That's it. So yeah, it doesn't actually say, but these are the sub legs. Just call these the thrusters, I guess. Just get in here. So they actually move on a separate piece that's here, can go round, and they can turn individually as well. But if you turn the bottom one, they will just go together. This has all felt pretty tight, but I have been posing it a lot now, and it is starting to loosen up. So just be careful. I feel like you could actually snap something with this kit if you weren't too cautious with it. But back to the articulation, the back skirt goes nowhere. Now I've talked about these. Let's just remove those. They just come off like that. They're pegs on the side skirts. Now, this is the very articulate part. This kit is just insanely articulate. So you can see there, that was the head with the sticker in there. The V-fin doesn't come off at all. Like, that's been great. Most of the V-fins I touch, they just fall off. So the head will go a little on the ball joint, but then it's actually got a peg as well. So you can go like that all the way around. That's really cool. I like this, the head. And that's actually good articulation they've put in there, the 2 points, because when you are, the waist goes all the way back, and then the chest will actually come up as well. So when you want to be laying on submarine mode, he can look straight ahead, or when he's ascending in the sky, he can look straight up. It's really cool, the articulation they have given this kit. Speaking of the waist, it will go around with a bit of just lifting side to side there. The arms will go all the way around. The flaps on the shoulders, which hide the beam sabers. Now I've left one out here just to show you. So that was that. It comes off, and all you do is push that down into there. Close up. Clickety click. They are actually not as hard to get open as you think, because there is a little raised piece that you leave on there, and then you can use your nail just to flick that up. So the arm will go all the way around, side to side, but going up. It's limited by this piece in here, so you can get almost all the way up with, despite, guys, think about this thing having no polycaps. This is great. That's like parallel. Obviously the shoulder goes up with it, but the elbow go all the way, and it even goes back like that. That's a broken elbow for a person, but this kit can do it. And the wrist is just the standard ball joint, so it will go all the way around. Now, the front skirt. This manual actually tells you that you can cut the center ball joint to have these in. Now, I will warn you, it's cool because with that pose I did before, you can just have the one skirt up, right? If you do that though, be careful, because these things will just pop straight out at a moment's notice if you touch them the wrong way. That's the only, letdown. The waist articulation on this thing is actually really cool. Now the legs are just attached on there like that, but look what he can do. The splits. Really cool. He can go pretty much all the way back until you hit the back skirt. Raise that up. You can go all the way to the front. Awesome there on that part of the legs. And there you go. He's just lost his front skirt. We'll pop that back in. It clicks in place again. There we go. The knee can go pretty much all the way back. That is insane. It will go all the way forward. All right. Now, these were similar to IBO feet, I felt, when you built these, because it's actually a centerpiece into the ankle, so you can go all the way around. Not much side to side, no back and front to speak of really, except for in the leg itself, not in the ankle. So you can go up, and this is that globe system they were referring to. It's just without polycaps, it still works really well. The feet, you can then go as well, that goes up, because when you lock this into, you would have seen the sub arm, that actually clicks in there. there, and it locks in place, and you need that bit of up and down to be able to stand it right on the floats or sub-arms. And that's about it there on the legs. So the articulation on this guy is 7 out of 10, but that's just only because of the sub-arms. I didn't really enjoy that. The accessories, 9 out of 10, guys. Sitting back there. There we go. So you get the 2 sub-arms and the floats there. You get 2 beam saber effect parts. You get the prototype railgun. You get the beam shield, and wait, we're not done yet. You get 2 of the submachine guns. So accessories, it's getting a 9 out of 10. Now, they're not actually the right color. So as much as the color separation on this was pretty good without stickers, sorry, I should say these are actually 2 stickers here on the chest as well, the across lines. There's going to be some serious masking when I paint this kit. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but the rifle should actually be a grey, like a dark grey and a black, or a off-whitey grey and a black, but they're not. They're just a flat. And look, on a 1144 kit, I mean, really, the detail's pretty good. I just need to paint that myself. So not too hard. It's fairly straight through there. Otherwise, the weapons are pretty color accurate. The only thing that isn't is inside the, you can see there, it's actually black inside or silvery black inside the railgun there, which it isn't. But not something too hard to fix up. You can even do it with a bit of brush and paint. So 9 out of 10 there. Fun factor when building this kit. So how did I feel when I was building this kit? It was pretty fun. The only thing that wasn't as fun, like weapons, yeah, were cool. When I got to these bits, I kind of cut all the bits out together and then threw it in a box and went, oh, right, now I got to this, oh crap. It is a little harder. You have to build 2 of them. So it was, just sorting the parts out was a little bit of fun again. But fun factor on the build was actually an 8 out of 10. So I'm pretty happy with that. Guys, I am going to give this kit a final score of 8.5 out of 10. Pretty high rating. I highly recommend getting this kit. I don't think it was too highly priced for the amount of plastic that you're actually getting inside this kit. There's a lot of plastic here, accessories, fun, and looks. It's all there. Even if you're just straight assembling with the stickers and some panel lining, there are a lot of panel lining opportunities in the shoulders, the legs, everywhere. This is a detailed HG. I fully love it. And as you were seeing in the quick look video, there's a lot of poses, so you can play around with this thing forever. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us for this review. Big thanks to Mike and Lance over at RoboCity for sending us this kit, and we'll catch you at the next one. All right, bye-bye, guys.